Dave from Marietta, Georgia. Is there any truth to the rumor of Kenny Omega getting his own documentary on HBO? Yeah, that's an interesting story, and here's what I know about that. I've probably read the same things that you've read, but there is a musician out of Toronto. His name is Joseph Shabasin, or Shabasin, I'm sorry. I think Shabasin is how you pronounce it. And he was interviewed on a podcast called Creative Control, which is not a wrestling podcast, although you would think it is, but it's not. It's a culture. From what I could tell, it's a culture podcast. And Shabasin let it slip that he just finished scoring a documentary about a wrestler named Kenny Omega that is scheduled to come out next year on HBO. And he said all he really knew about it was that Omega is from Winnipeg, but he went to Japan to form this tag team called the Golden Lovers, which he called, and this is his quote, he said, "It is sort of like the first ever queer story in wrestling," which is, of course, not true, but he's not a fan, and so there's no way he would know that. Now, John Pollock over at Post Wrestling confirmed that the documentary with another member of the production team. So he confirmed that this documentary is happening. It is being worked on. It is being filmed. And apparently they've been following Kenny Omega around for a while. They were filming him at All In back in September. So it sounds like this thing is definitely happening. HBO just did a wrestling documentary last year on Andre the Giant, which was tremendous. That was a Bill Simmons thing. I don't think Bill Simmons has anything at all to do with this. And in fact, this would be, according to Meltzer, he mentioned that this would be for HBO Canada and not HBO US. I didn't even know there was a separate HBO in Canada, but I guess they have their own HBO. Now, there is a rumor going around that in the documentary, Omega may possibly come out of the closet. Now, that's not confirmed. This was first teased. There was a Reddit user back in August who posted that HBO was filming a documentary or some kind of special on Kenny Omega where he might come out, I guess as gay, publicly. This person said this on Reddit in August. Doesn't mean it's true, but it definitely seems like there's smoke to the fire here. He did post that on there over 3 months ago, well before this news broke. So we shall see. Any kind of HBO documentary on a wrestler has my interest. It could be a big year for wrestling documentaries. Remember, Viceland is supposed to be starting a series called The Dark Side of the Ring. And they're going to have specials on Bruiser Brody and his murder, Randy Savage and Elizabeth, the Von Erichs. I think the Montreal Screwjob is on there as well, even though we already have one. We already have a documentary on that. It's called Wrestling with Shadows, which is quite good. If you've never seen it, you should. So it looks like it could be a big year for wrestling documentaries.